With most chains that I sell, they come with lobster clasps. The problem when making a barrel lock is the lobster clasp plus end caps are 1 inch length. The barrel lock is usually 1/2 inch. So with my client Arturo's rope chain, I had to go with the 20 inch, size it down so that way the final length, the 18 inch that he ordered, would be the right length. That's just a little fact. Here we got the castings of the barrel lock. I cast these pieces, cleaning it. If you watched the Jesus piece video, I showed more in depth about cleaning and casting and all that good stuff. But with this video, I don't want to focus on it. I want to focus mainly on the fabrication and more facts about it. As you can see here, we're starting to fabricate the lock so it's a nice fit. And with the barrel locks, they're a little harder to make than the standard, like for a Miami Cuban link, a box lock, because of their rounded. And what the problem that creates is you want the tongue, the male part of that lock, to sit flush, tight, and secure, so that way you have a nice durable lock. And this is the process that you have to go through to fabricate it. Sometimes you have to add gold bars or something to make that a snug fit. With manufacturing jewelry in general, there's never a perfect scenario. There's never a piece that goes as planned, so you have to take time and of course price accordingly if you're running a business to work on these pieces and make them like they should. Now with the cricket legs, as I call them, this is very important for a nice lock like this because it adds another feature for security on these locks. Now these are done by hand, of course, with the gold wiring, and again, you got to do it, take your time, and make sure these are on snug and secure. In case that tongue wears down or any problems occur, you still have the 2 extras on the side to keep that chain. Your barrel lock, your box lock, is only as secure as the components inside and the durability that comes with. There's definitely qualities and some made better than others. This one right here, as you guys are gonna see, is done with the quality and just the patience with working step by step to make a good lock. The finishing touches, you gotta solder on this to make sure it is tight and it is on there securely. You gotta have the end caps so that way they're not like 2 little needles sticking out and pointing at you, grab your neck or your wrist wherever you're wearing it. And if you ever have a box lock that the little cricket legs, the safety clasp on the sides get loose, this is exactly how you tighten it right here. You just get some pliers, crimp it, and it'll make it tighter. For us, we're gonna just test it, make sure it's a good fit. You don't want it way too tight, but you definitely want to work when you're unclasping it so that way it's on there tighter, because again, each one of these is a security feature for your chain. You're gonna pay more for a barrel lock, box lock, I don't care who you buy it for, where it's made. They're just a little more labor, more gold in them. So you wanna make sure if you're getting what you pay for, and that most of the times you're buying these types of locks to ensure your chain stays on without it. You know, if the lobster clasp breaks or whatever, it's gonna stay on. The next, we solder these inside the barrel locks. I like to just laser it to kind of put it in place. This isn't the how it's gonna attach, but to laser to put it in place so that way when we go to solder it with fire, it attaches. But for smaller chains like a 2mm Franco, you could size it and laser it, it'll be fine. But for heavier chains with heavier barrel locks, box locks, whatever the lock is, you definitely need to solder it with fire just to get a good good attachment, because again, with these locks, you're only as good as the solder that's connecting it. You could have the world's safest lock, but if the chain is not soldered on to the lock correctly, then there goes one side and that chain flies off. So with the solder, you got to get it hot and just take your time and solder that rope chain or whatever chain you're doing. In this case, obviously, it's the rope chain inside of the barrel lock. And this right here is one of the most important steps of this whole process. Again, it's the same principle. You have to have a nice secure chain going inside of the lock than the lock itself. So those are 2 major keys. You want to have a nice durable lock as well as a good solder job into the lock. That way it stays on there nice, because you know, there's one thing you don't want to spend the money on a barrel lock, on a box lock, and then have it detached from the actual end cap or the barrel lock itself. So, and this is definitely time consuming to make sure it's done right. The rope chain and everything is looking really dirty. It's not the final result, but when you're playing with fire like that, you definitely have to do that. You dip it in some oil. Right now, we pretty much know that this lock is good to go. We worked hours on it, fabricating it, making sure it's good. A little adjustment to the tongue to just give that click and that tightness, and it is good to go. That is a nice looking lock. Take hours to make and a lot of adjustments, but it's pretty much good to go now. We need to give it a quick polish. And that's the good thing about these videos and what I like to show you guys. You see the fire, you see how this chain looks and the raw castings, and then now it's starting to look as you guys see it on my normal videos. You see nice shiny gold chains. You go to Swords, a shiny gold chain, but you saw the step-by-step on where it started, a raw casting, to the torch on it, to the solder, and now it's looking nice and shiny, ready to wear. As you guys, this is a typical JACOJE shot, but it's a finished product going on the neck. This is an 18-inch, but on this neck, it actually is looking like a 20-inch because it's only half a neck, so that's pretty much a 20-inch, 6mm rope chain with a nice chunky custom barrel lock. And I just do these per custom request if you have something, but keep in mind if you have braces or something, it's gonna reduce it a ½ inch on average because they're not as long as those lobster class. Shop JACOJE. Thank you for watching. That's it for today's video, and we'll see you on our next jewelry video.